Okay, principle 8, Shalom Uvrocha. And this is not really a principle. This is the culmination of our journey. Okay? And remember, this journey is a never-ending journey. It's a never-ending journey. And you keep going up and up and up. And this is a feeling that if you call it a feeling, it's beyond a feeling. It's completely beyond a feeling. We'll discuss it. Okay. Definition of Shalom Uvrocha. Again, it's not a principle. It's the result of living the 7 principles before this. Okay. A profound state of inner peace where, and this is written wrong, it should be reality, personality and behavior seamlessly align. That would actually be worth making sure you got that correct. That reality, personality, behavior seamlessly align. So you could say it like this: that is the alignment of what is with who I am and what I do. That's really like, I love that, what I do. That's really it. How it is, how reality is, how the world is, with who I am, being my personality, my emotions, my desires, etc., and how I behave. Anybody who you know who's in that reality, you are automatically drawn to. You cannot resist that person. That person is an irresistible person. When reality, personality and behavior is aligned, that person is irresistible. To themselves as well. Not that they think that much about themselves, but anyway. Okay, reverse definition, which is a little bit more to our experiences. A fragmented inner state that leaves you feeling isolated, with everything seeming disconnected and separate. A fragmented inner state that leaves you feeling isolated, isolated, with everything seeming disconnected and separate. Okay, affirmations. I am complete enough to transcend my sense of individual self and take responsibility for the greater whole. Now you can come at me with the whole doormat thing, yeah? We're not talking about becoming a doormat in any way, shape or form. In fact, we're talking about the exact opposite. Yeah, the feeling of selflessness is not, oh, have your way with me. The feeling of selflessness, of genuine selflessness is what we're talking about here. And I don't like to use the word bittul because there's so much like bad stuff with that word. So you'll very rarely hear me use the word bittul. This concept of selflessness is more like, who am I to let this person get away with that? No, who am I to not pick up this trash? Not like, oh, well, who am I to do anything? It's the opposite. It's who am I to not do something? That's real selflessness. It's the most empowering. It's not, because it's not my responsibility. It's not my choice to be irresponsible. I don't have the option to be irresponsible because that's selfish. To abdicate responsibility is selfish. So I've got a responsibility here, and because I'm selfless, I actually take responsibility. So it's the exact opposite of being a doormat, okay? So whenever we hear selfless, I always get this pushback, oh, you're a doormat, what about yourself? It's the most empowering state there is. We're going to discuss it. This is really what we're talking about today. Okay, so I am complete enough to transcend my sense of individual self and take responsibility for the greater whole. Only a person who can transcend themselves to whatever degree is able to take responsibility for others. To the degree that you've transcended yourself, you are able to take responsibility for others. Okay, affirmation 2. The selflessness produced by my deep inner wholeness serves as a channel for divine blessings to flow into the world. The selflessness produced by my deep inner wholeness serves as a channel for divine blessings to flow into the world. If I'm full and b'shleimus, then it's like, this is one of my favourite pictures I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of pictures. Page 185. I absolutely love this image. If you're full, then the brachas just pour out of you, and everybody gets blessed. That's the inyan of the tzaddik. That's why Yosef was in Mitzrayim, and he was the one who brought sustenance to the whole world. That's the bachin of the tzaddik. This really is the first time we've touched on Yiddishkeit, and this is the place where Yiddishkeit needs to come from. This is the place where Avodas Hashem is coming from. Okay, and all of this before this, all of the ideas we spoke about before this, was just a preparation really to serve. That's the word we're going to go back to again and again and again. And I know in my time in this world, I've seen people, I don't even know, cringe is not the right word, but when they hear the word serve, I don't know what the word, cringe is definitely not enough. But I don't know, melt, dissolve, tremble, evaporate, feel sick. Yeah, so we're going to be using that word a lot, okay? Because once you've really incorporated these 7 ideas, these 7 principles, and you're living aligned with these principles, all you will want is to serve. That's all that will be left, is a desire to serve. I guarantee you. And you know what the funny thing is when your mind turns into a state of genuine longing to serve, your world becomes mamash Gan Eden. Mamash. It's so absolutely paradoxical and the opposite of what everybody would think. But literally, your world becomes Gan Eden, and if it isn't Gan Eden, Dick, yeah, which I would put money it will be on. I will put money that it will be. If it isn't, you'll be absolutely fine. You will still have as much life in yourself as if it was Gan Eden, Dick. That's the point. Once this world becomes just whatever it is, because it's not about me, it's about how can I, like we said at the very beginning, it's not about what he throws at you, it's about how you catch it. But once you caught it, now it's about how can you give it back. So you're just, in every situation, you're looking for how I can serve. And then if you can't serve, well, then he decided that you can't serve, and you're happy with that as well. But you're never, the personalness comes out. And you ever met people who are, the way I see it is the more narcissistic people are, the more they are like mortally offended by everything. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like, oh, I can't believe they said that to me. Yeah, that only comes from a narcissistic person. And the more self-involved they are, the more things hurt. Everything hurts. And the less you're there, the less you're about serving yourself, the more transparent you become, and things flow through you so easily. Nothing sticks. Nothing bad sticks. Nothing bad sticks. So the selflessness produced by my deep inner wholeness, which is a product of the principles before this, serves as a channel for divine blessings to flow into the world. And the final one, I am ready to serve my Creator, not for the sake of reward. Which is how I understand it, the purpose of Yiddishkeit. To going up in Madregas of Lishma. From all the learning that I've done, I would put all my money, I'd stake everything that I have on the fact that that is what Yiddishkeit is. About serving Hashem Lishma. Not about learning the whole Gemara, not about fixing your midas, not about opening Gemachim, not about anything else. It's about getting to Lishma. Everything else fits into that. Everything else fits into context of that. And Lishma means I'm serving Lo almanas l'kabel pras. Not for myself, I'm serving for you. So you might ask the question, why? If you're not doing it for to be makabel pras, to get reward, why are you serving? And the answer to that is because that's who we are. That's what we got created to be, and that's who we are. And this is what this class is trying to do, is it's trying to uncover who we are. And that's what really all humanity got created to be, but especially Am Yisrael, we got created to serve. So when we are matzliach in these 7 principles before, then we end up having uncovered the essence of who we are, and all that wants is to serve. Okay, can we read the expanded affirmations? Want to read with the loud voice? Go on, loud.
Okay, I got you. I am complete enough to transcend my sense of individual self and take responsibility for the greater whole. I am whole and complete, and from this fulfillment, I can transcend my individual sense of self to embrace responsibility for the greater whole. My desire to give and help is not from lack, but from the deep inner completion, unity, and abundance that overflows within me.
You understand there's a need to serve from lack. I need to serve. This has nothing to do with that whatsoever. This is kind of, in a sense, like, what else is there to do, in a sense? It's like Abraham said, Hineni, I'm here for you, brother Shalom, whatever you want. That's what he said. It's not coming from my desire to serve, so to speak. It's just that's what I am. That's what this is about. Yeah. Number 2. Go on, share it loud.
My inner wholeness fuels selflessness, becoming a channel for divine blessings to flow into this world. The selflessness born from my deep inner wholeness becomes a powerful channel for divine blessings. I become both a vessel and a conduit, allowing goodness to flow through me and gather around me, bringing abundance to myself and others.
Beautiful. Any takers for number 3? Go on. Loud.
I am ready.
Louder.
I am ready to serve my Creator, not for the sake of reward, but because it flows naturally from the truth of who I am. My divine service arises from being fully aligned with truth, where my actions reflect my deepest inner reality. In this alignment, serving the divine becomes an authentic expression of my essence and for no ulterior motive.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Is you become so in touch with who you are. That is what the avoider of this course is about, is to get you so deeply in touch with who you are. Like I said, that there's nothing left other than to serve. And that's what your life becomes, that, yeah.
Would you say that that's living from a place no longer of Bechira, but more like idea, like an inner knowing? Like inspiration to just act? Yeah, but the idea of getting beyond Bechira is that's many, you can hit this many madrigas before that. But it's not that a person's going to be in this state 24/7, but there's an overwhelming majority of the time when you're like this, and there is cutness. There will be cutness. There will be times when you do feel needy, times when you do want to take, times when you want to be served. But again, it's a continuum, and it's right.
Yeah. But
so it's like you have to work yourself up there, and you could keep on working yourself back there. It's not something that once you're there,
yeah,
it's
constant work.
Okay.
It's constant, and you can't let your guard down. So many things to say. One of the things to say is that clothing naturally gets dirty. Doesn't matter, like, okay, if you're in a coal mine or if you're in a forest, whatever, yeah, then for sure your clothes get dirty. But even when you're just knocking around in your house in a stale place, your clothes still get dirty. It's the same idea as well, is that our natural, the natural kind of, not our natural state, but the default state, so to speak, yeah, is a selfish, needy state. Yeah, this is another way my Rebbe says it, it's the movement from feeling needy to knowing that you're needed. The movement from being needy to being needed. My daughter got this a while ago, how much better it is to be needed than needy. And she made a decision a few years ago that she is gonna be really, really helpful. And she's needed. And she feel that the confidence that she has, so I know you're embarrassed by me saying this, but the confidence that comes from that, from feeling needed, is huge. And feeling needy is so disempowering. That's called dependent. That's dependent. And transcendent is what we'll discuss, and that is what we're talking about here. This is the transition. Yeah, so the idea of actually going beyond Bechira, we're not really talking about that. That's something else. But this is a really genuinely, I promise you, this is a genuinely attainable state. It really is. With some hard work and some time. It's not quick and it's not easy, but it's mamish attainable.
Got it. That was really powerful what you said about needy, not needed.
Yeah, that's a nice little meme to have. The transition from being needy to being needed. Yeah. Okay. So the opposite of this, well, the opposite to this is a fragmentation. Is an inner fragmentation. I'm going to actually give over something quickly that I learned this week that completely changed my life. And we have a screen here which is going to help us explain this. So you'll appreciate this, I think. That we're going off-road here. Okay, that this lady was talking to this psychologist. I think his name is Gabor Mate. You've heard of him, yeah? It's that famous guy, yeah? Really, I never heard of him before, but you could see he really knows it. He's a really clever guy, yeah? And this woman who was also, I think she was quite famous, she was like in her early 60s, maybe late 50s, blonde woman. And she said, he was asking her about, whatever, she explained that when she was 4th grade, like 9 years old or something, she had an abusive experience. She like woke up in camp with some guy on her, she didn't give details, but it was a very traumatic thing. And she was literally, this was 50 years ago, literally, and it was still like in the front of her mind, and it had, it was running her life in a sense, yeah? A real trauma that she never got over. So what this guy said was so unbelievable, and like so many things clicked in my mind, and it's really the essence of the opposite of this, yeah? So he said to this woman, he said to her, what did you do after that happened? So she said, you told your parents? She said, no. She said, She said, what would you say, what would you understand if this happened to your daughter and she didn't tell you? And the woman said, I would feel terrible. And he said, no, I didn't ask how you would feel. I asked, what would you understand? She said, well, I'd understand that she didn't feel that she could talk to me. And he said to her, that's the trauma. The trauma wasn't what happened. The trauma was the fact that you felt alone. The aloneness is the trauma. Now listen to this amazing moshel. It's like this screen, yeah? Forget this bit. It's like a screen. If a person feels alone and we've discussed why that could be, but the primary reason why a child would feel alone is because the parents would be having a back-to-back relationship with them. It could be on a very subtle level, but the parents would be wanting something from the children on whatever level, like the cab driver relationship, where the two grow apart. So I just thought, until this week, that a back-to-back relationship causes rebellion and hatred and moving away. But I didn't realise how much more what it does. This is how I understand it does. So the child feels alone. Yeah, they can't talk to their parents for whatever reason. Yeah, they feel alone, like most of us feel nowadays, alone. What that is, in a sense, in the moshul, is a white projector screen. Yeah, the more alone a person feels, the bigger the screen. Yeah. Now that will have ramifications in all aspects of a person's life. However, if something traumatic happens, that's like an image that gets projected on the screen. And now the person can spend their life caught up in the image. When if they realized for a minute that the problem's the screen, and if they got rid of the screen, the image would just go off into the forest. It would just go. You understand how weird that is? It's one of the most profound things I've ever heard. So it means that the inner aloneness, which is fragmentation, isolation, separation, however you want to do it, that's the trauma. The trauma's this. But because a picture got put on that, so now the person spends their life caught up in the image. But if they just realize that the problem is the aloneness, then that would dismantle the screen and there would be no image. Not saying that it wouldn't hurt, it wouldn't be unpleasant, that it's now acceptable what happened. I'm not saying bichlal. I'm just saying that the image would be experienced, but it would just go off. Like you get over that, and it really is predicated on what Jordan Peterson said one time. He's dealt with everyone knows Jordan Peterson, yeah. He's dealt with thousands of clients, thousands of patients. He's a psychologist, and he said that you would meet. I've met many people who've been through things that you couldn't and wouldn't want to imagine. Yeah, many. And they've come out the end stronger, more emotionally, capable, productive, healthy human beings who are contributing to society. And on the other side, he's met people that if you heard their traumas, you would have to kind of hold yourself back from laughing. And 50 years on, they're a mess. So I was wondering, after he said that, like, I wonder what's the key? What is it? Is it because you're clever, that your mind works quickly? And so I heard this guy say this, and it was like, wow, that all makes such sense. I asked my friend in Manchester, who's a psychologist, like therapist kind of thing, and I said to him, without telling him this whole thing that I just told you, I said to him what Peterson said. People go through crazy stuff, they come out great. People go through hardly anything, they get destroyed. He says, of course. I said, what's the difference? Why is it that some people go like that and some like that? And he hadn't articulated like I just heard this guy articulate it. And he said, it's like more like kind of like external things, like the family they came from and like the place. He said exactly the point. It was clear that this is everything, is that the aloneness, and without getting into Kabbalah and Hasidus, that's what we call klipa. Yeah, when a person has got klipa, that is called klipa. When a person gets treated as a means to an end, yeah, and that can be very, very subtle. When a person gets treated as a means to an end, yeah, then they feel isolated, fragmented, and that leads to an inner fragmentation. An inner fragmentation. A person who feels fragmented from reality is fragmented inside. It's holographic. That's the only way it can be. Just as a side point, you've heard the phrase that it says that the Rishayim and Malay Mitzvahs Karimon. Everyone's heard that idea? Yeah, it says in the Gemara that the Rishayim, the sinners, are full of mitzvahs like a rimon. Yeah? So it's really a dam b'chavschus, meaning that even the lowliest people in Am Yisrael are full of mitzvahs. Yeah? And I don't want to take away from that because that's true, but there's another way of understanding it, is that by the Rasha doesn't mean, you know, a malevolent, sadistic kind of. It means a person who's fragmented internally. Yeah, that the mitzvahs in them are like a rimon. If you open up a rimon, you'll see hundreds of 613 apparently little red seeds. Yeah. By the tzaddik, there's only one mitzvah. And this is the essence of Shalom Uvracha. Well, let me explain, because this really is the point. Is that I always give the example of a husband. But let's try and, I'll try and do my best to give it from the perspective of a wife. Yeah, that a wife, to be a good mother, you have. I've only been married for like 21 years, so I really feel like I'm still a baby, but I'm not as a baby as other people, but I'm still mummish, still working it out. That as a mother, as a wife, you've got a bunch of responsibilities. Let's just say, yeah, if you want to be a good wife, yeah, well, you have to make sure the house is clean. Yeah, you have to have food ready. Yeah, you have to. Okay, what else you have to do? No, I was trying to leave children out of the thing, yeah. You have to, when I said have the house, the laundry has to be done, yeah. It's just the stuff around the house. Let's just say, yeah. We're not pushing out to work yet. We're not wherever it is. But just excuse my chauvinism. Yeah, but the point is you've got a whole, I'm going to say the man's side, it's easier for me. Yeah? You have to put your dirty socks in the washing, you have to pay the mortgage, yeah, you have to learn with the kids on Shabbos, and you have to take the trash out. Okay? Let's say. Now when I'm trying to be a good husband, now I've got 4 things to do. There's actually a lot more than that. But when I'm trying to be a good husband, I've got all those things to do. If I transition from trying to be a good husband to just thinking about my wife, then there's not 4 things to do. Yeah? On a Wednesday morning, when the bin is overflowing, my wife, she's here, so it's interesting, I never said this in the front before, my wife is expressed as me taking out the trash. Yeah? At 10 o'clock on a Tuesday evening when I'm going to bed, my wife is expressed as me putting my dirty socks in the laundry basket. Yeah, as I'm getting my paycheck every month, my wife is expressed by me putting that money into the bank and the mortgage getting paid. So I'm not taking out a trash can. Yeah, I'm merging with my wife. I'm not putting socks in the bin. I'm merging with my wife. I'm not paying the mortgage. I'm experiencing my wife. That's a world of inner wholeness, of shalom. That's the opposite of the Rasha, who's Malay mitzvahs karimon. Yeah, he's got, well, there's this mitzvah and that mitzvah and this mitzvah and that mitzvah, and I've got this thing to do for God and this thing to do for God and this thing to do for God. And all of a sudden I've got no fingers left. I finished my toes, my fingers, I'm completely overwhelmed by all of my responsibilities because it's about me serving God. But when my perspective shifts to God Himself, well then, and that's the same with our children as well. If you want to think about your being a good parent, you're playing the role of a good parent, you're going to be overwhelmed by how much stuff you have to do. But if instead of it's being about you being a good parent, and you're not trying to be a good parent anymore, you let go of trying to be a good parent and you just start to be concerned for your children, yeah? It's like, is everyone with me? Yeah. It's like all of the endless,
So you're trying to say that you're becoming one with your children, you're becoming one with Hashem, you're becoming one with your wife?
I'm giving it all as a mashal. Ultimately, your whole life, everything happens in context of Hashem. Yeah, so even my relationship with my wife is really oneness with Hashem. Yeah, but I've got my relationship with my wife. So my relationship with my wife, I've got so many different things. If I'm trying to be a good husband, it's just, there's so much to do. If it's just about my wife, then there's just one thing, my wife. You understand what I'm saying? That's the feeling of, that is the feeling of, well, let's move on. That is what we call transcendent. Okay, so we're going to go quick. What is the time? Because this thing died. 8:40. Okay, that's fine. We're doing great. This is good. And we're back into a cappella mode. So I made the song in a cappella. The word. This song is my favourite words. Yeah, the song's quite nice, but I love the words of the song. Okay, so let's do a quick hazara of the whole system, and we'll see how it all works. Okay. So we begin by dependent, yeah, which we said is which is fragmented and needy. Okay, that is before we really exist. It's like it's a pre-existent. On the new one, on the other one that is in your books, it says pre-self. So you don't really exist here. You're not a real being. You're just a program. You're just running out. The program, bit of nature, bit of nurture, however it works out. You're predictable. Yeah, you're really predictable. Okay, and there's no trust. This is very important. We never really spoke about this part of the tree, but we've got the self-trust and we've got shared trust. But in this level here, there is no trust. You can't trust yourself. You can't trust others. It's a very you could maybe call this area here Gehenna. Okay, so the step into reality is live life. I'm taking responsibility at least for my life. I don't need to take responsibilities right now for anybody else, but I'm taking charge of my life. I refuse to just be running this program that I've been running for however many years. Let me just, as you can see, okay. Okay, and this is the beginning of trust, self-trust, which, what was your name, Mrs. Rosenbaum? Mrs. Rosenbaum was saying that she experienced, you feel that self-trust coming that you haven't had in such a sense before from this simple promise that you get?
Yeah, I feel like I was more like flimsy, like I could go one day here, one day there, like my emotions would follow me. I felt like having sugar one day, and that's what I did.
So let me tell you the story, yeah? And it was actually, I remember it most profoundly at Mrs. Halpin's house in LA, the first time I came to the state. The first time I came to LA, that I take on these projects every year, yeah? Like a lot of my promises, my making promises, all to do with like Torah projects that I take on nowadays. And I took on this project to learn the whole Or Chaim HaKodesh on the Parsha, which is a really massive project, and I would never, if I'd known what it was, I probably would have taken it on. And I took it on, and so there's two parts of the story I want to tell you. So, how it works out. What should I say first? Okay, so I was getting over, this isn't the Mrs. Halpin part of the story, that's the second part. So I was getting completely overwhelmed by this project, yeah? It was like hours and hours a week. And I'm like, and I was just, it was so busy, I was flying, I was here and there, and I was working so much on so many things. I remember phoning up Shiri, and I was like, Shiri, it was like, I think I was somewhere in Vayikra. I'm like, I'm really thinking about giving this up, like, it's just too much. She was like, whatever you want, okay. So I was really like, I was completely didn't know if I should carry it, I'm being stupid, it's too much, or I should, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to stop, but I felt that it was the sensible thing to do. And I decided that I was going to learn the Rambam, the Mishnah Torah, with my son for his bar mitzvah, which is a massive. That makes the Or Chaim look like a an afternoon's work. The Rambam's a huge project, yeah, huge. And I bought the Sfarim. It's like 20 odd books, yeah, that much learning. And we were getting ready. Me and my son were getting ready to learn it in a few months from now, yeah. And as I'm having these thoughts about how I'm being crushed by this Or Chaim project, I get an email, a random email from, I'm not on the Chabad list, yeah? I just get an email from Chabad, I never get emails from Chabad, saying, oh, you should know that we're beginning the next 3-year cycle of the Rambam next week. Yeah, it starts every 3 years. So I'm like, well, I'm getting overwhelmed by my Or Chaim project, and now there's this opportunity to start the Rambam. And I said to myself, you know what? And I took on the Rambam as well, and I kept with the Or Chaim, and that has impacted my life in such a way that, again, I can't say now I want to fast forward a little bit to Mrs. Halpin's house, when I just as one example, there's numerous examples of this, but I was really lagging behind with the Rambam, with the Or Chaim. I was a long way behind for that week, and I was there with Yoel, and he didn't, I don't know what happened, but I ended up sitting in your house. I had like 3 hours. Yoel went to shul without taking me. I had like 3 hours to learn. I just learned hard for 3 hours and did a huge camp. What I'm trying to say is that crazy things happened again and again and again that helped me come through for myself. So not only do you build your self-trust when you take on, I'm not telling people to do stupid things and take on crazy things at all. You work up to it. But the goal is to constantly be pushing it out of your comfort zone, and very soon you'll be doing things that people will think that you're a bit mad. Yeah, but what you do is not only do you build huge trust in yourself, but you invite the Rabboni Shalom into your life in a profound way, in a truly profound way. Like I could tell you, I just remembered it from the Halpins, but dozens and dozens of times for that project, I would be there with my book, my chavrusa just forgot to turn up, and I got a 2 hour learning session that shouldn't have taken place again and again and again. So just just to keep that in mind. So that's so that is the movement. I just gave it in a very extreme level, but that is what Live Life is all about. That's predicated on these words, making and keeping promises. Okay? The most important thing to keep in mind here is remember the fix it, forget it matrix. Yeah? There are things that you can fix, either like your behavior that you've got direct control, other people's behavior you've got indirect control, and things like the weather and your past and the political climate that you can't fix, that you've got nothing to do with, so forget that. Okay, that's a very important thing. And your language. Yeah, we're not going to get into this. We could give 100 shirim on the language, but go back to the book and look at what it is, the kind of words you use. Just as a heads up, as one word is like getting rid of that word overwhelmed, because it just stops you in your tracks. When you're overwhelmed, that's it, finished. So if we get rid of, just for example, get rid of words like that, it will help us a lot. Okay, as the self-trust builds, that is the relationship between man and himself, and that is us becoming independent. So this is the commitment, so to speak, to live life. And now, to do that, again, Be Humble could actually be included in live life. Be Humble means that we have this kind of impenetrable wall around us, the egoic wall around us that stops us from changing. And if we're not humble, then if we can't change, which is what it means be humble, then nothing else is going. So live life is necessary to even choose to be humble, but the first choice has to be, I'm ready to change. Okay, so like I said, that really is included in live life, but it was important enough I felt to kind of pop it out. Okay, now once we're being humble, we need to work out what it is that we're here to do, and remember that we said the most important thing to do, if you do one thing from this course, is write your own eulogy, yeah, as you wish it to be. And again, Mrs. Rosemary, you said it was amazing, you did that, yeah?
Yeah.
Did anybody here write their eulogy?
It was very
Still
unsuccessful.
in the
Huh?
middle.
Very unsuccessful.
Unsuccessful? Okay. So try again. You did it? How did you find it?
Amazing.
How long did it take you?
An hour and a half.
You sat by yourself in your house and like
Spot.
Huh?
I was in spot.
In spot, and you with the phone off and mama yeah?
All in.
Yeah? Anybody else?
In
You
the
did it?
middle.
Yeah, I'm still in the process.
In the
of
process.
it. Yeah.
How are you finding that?
Good, because it's there, and then I'm adding to it, and then I'm
Well, you're talking about your
Adjusting it.
eulogy or your mission statement?
no the eulogy.
The eulogy, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, because the eulogy I think is going to lead to the mission statement.
Yeah, no, the eulogy does lead to vision. Usually, from my experience, there's no rules to it. I always thought the eulogy was like a kind of a one-time thing, and a mission statement was on and on. But however you do it, there's, like I said, there's no rules. Anyone else?
Yeah.
You did it?
I think it's.
How long did it take?
I'm still in the middle, but
Yeah.
I'm finding it hugely motivating.
Mm.
It's like creating a huge vision of the direction that I want to go, and it's amazing.
Okay, it's so funny because you would think it's so kind of like morbid, but it's just the exact opposite, isn't it? It's literally
It's
the most.
life-giving,
It's
right?
the most life-giving thing I can think of doing. You did it? Okay, you still got some time. Okay, and now once we have a mission statement, that's really the point of the eulogy, is to come to a mission statement. The eulogy clarifies your values, and once we the equation is values times passion times a need in the world, and that's your purpose. That's your purpose. What you value, what you love, and what needs to get done. Put those things together, and then you can write your mission statement. Okay? Well, now you've got a mission statement, and now you know what you're here to do. Yeah, that, by the way, that's written. That's all written up. We didn't talk about it in class because it's too big a thing really to talk about. But that is on page. It's got the whole thing. Yeah, it's given a whole page and a half, 2 pages. Page 88. Values is called the VAMGAP. Values, mission, goals, projects. That's really helpful if you take that seriously. Okay. Once you know what you're here to do, now you have to do it. The do what matters principle is primarily based on the urgent important matrix. Okay. There are things that are urgent and important. Yeah, that's called crises that you need to deal with immediately, and they will work themselves out. Yeah, you can't not deal with them. Then you have what's important and not urgent, which is where we want to be spending most of our time. Those are things that, like writing a eulogy, yeah, that is the least urgent thing there can ever be. In fact, most important things are not urgent. Yeah, however, spending time with your kids is not urgent until it becomes a crisis, and then you need to spend time with the kids. But if you can spend time with the kids before that, yeah, then you will avoid the urgent important. Then we have urgent and not important. That is what our lives are filled with. Yeah, every time your WhatsApp pings, yeah, just as a little thing you should think about is that ping on WhatsApp was designed by like hundreds of the most intelligent people in the world. Yeah, the reason why you just can't not go to it is because they're so clever. Yeah.
Since I learned that, I think, is it from the social dilemma?
I mean, they mention that as well, but yeah.
Since I watched that long time ago, I turned off my pings on WhatsApp.
There you go, dear.
literally, I tell people if you want to reach me, call me, because I like.
You can't.
Yeah.
You
I
can't.
mean,
you
I'm always
can't
looking
resist.
at my phone. Don't
Yeah.
worry, I see them, but it doesn't ping.
It's not a real fight, like we said. There were some of the seeds. It's the fight is like what you said. You can't resist it. You're dealing with like reptilian tithers. You know, you're dealing with millions of years old tithers. However you want to understand the Asian universe. Yeah, to look at that for validation and survival, these kinds of things. You can't fight that. You just can't. So you have to distance yourself from it. That's the essence of duomatics. Okay, now, on this level, we now ended up with a very deep level of self-trust. Yeah, we know what we need to do, and we're constantly coming through for ourselves. That's called trust. That is trust. When you've got someone in your life who you can say, could you do this for me? And you know it's as good as done. And it's going to be done well, and you know it. Yeah, that's called trust, though. So this is self-trust. Okay? And that means that you're now independent, meaning I am a law unto myself. I hold my own weather. Like we said, it's like transitioning from the thermometer to the thermostat. I'm no longer a product of my surroundings, my environment. I am now the one who I set my environment. In fact, other people will be hot if I'm hot. Other people will be cold if I'm cold. Yeah? Then recognizing the other is making sure the temperature's nice for everyone. So this is moving into interdependent. Interdependent is a choice that only independent people can make. Dependent people cannot be interdependent. Why? Because I'm needy. So when I'm with you, it's not about us becoming something together. It's about what can I get from you. That's not okay. So you can't get to interdependent without being independent first. Okay? And this is shared trust. So just like here we're building trust with ourselves, here now we're building trust with others. And this is the essence of between man and his fellow man. Recognize that other is the beginning of appreciating that other people are see us unto themselves, meaning you don't exist in context of me. I'm not trying to see how I can get something from you. And that doesn't mean money. It could be love, validation, anything. When I'm trying to get something from you, then I'm not recognizing the other. So the essence of this principle is the two kinds of relationships, which is front to front and back to back. Front to front relationship is ideally a parent-child relationship where I'm in it for you and I'm concerned about you, you're concerned about me. Okay? That's the ideal child-parent relationship. By the way, the highest level, take us too off track, maybe not time.
Should we start? You gotta finish it.
I know.
Yeah, you just have cliffhangers. What is this?
I'll say very quickly, this demands much more time, but the highest relationship spoken about in Tanya at least is the relationship of a son to a father. But it's given as a son to a father. And you would think, well, I as a parent, I love my kids much more than they love me. Yeah? Why is the ultimate love the love of a son for a father? It should be a father for a son, yeah? So it's not talking about a child's son for his father. It's talking about a mature adult son to his father. And the lower laner, but we know that people deal with this, is when we get to whatever age, should be our 60s, 70s, 80s, that we might have to nurse our parents to death. Yeah? That's only available to people who have become truly selfless. Don't get me wrong, a person can get dragged through that, yeah? And a lot of people do get dragged through that experience, but if a person can actually live through that experience of nursing their elderly parent to the end, yeah, they did it. they won the game, so to speak. Yeah, that's the ultimate level, because a parent's love for a child, it's very difficult to not have nachas. It's very difficult to not know that you're investing into something that's going to go on forever, and etc. etc. There's a lot of it's difficult to be altruistic with your children, because there's so, and maybe you shouldn't be, because there's so much good stuff coming from it. Yeah, but that's not the case when a person is nursing their elderly parent in their last years of their life. What's there to look forward to? Just a funeral bill. Yeah, that's true selflessness. Okay. So now that we have this appreciation for the other, where we're trying to we're thinking about this idea of it's not about how you can serve me. Yeah, we didn't really get to the idea of how I can serve you. Again, just like be humble really could be stripped into live life, same team mindset could actually exist and recognize the other. But I felt they deserved more. Same team mindset is based on the principle of win-win. Your win is as important to me as my win. And the most important concept we spoke about in this principle, anybody remembers?
There's abundance for everybody.
The what?
There's enough for everybody. There's abundance.
That's good. Yeah, but that's not the that's very good. Shkoyach, communities. Yeah. But what I really mean to say is, what do I think is the most important part of this? It's like every shit I give, I always say, what is it? And then people always say things to me that if I'd thought of, I would have said that maybe. So really I'm thinking, what am I thinking? That's my question. The emotional bank account. Yeah, the emotional bank account is an insanely important idea. And as I've been giving this series of classes, I ended up with 2 big chidushim in the emotional bank account. So he said, remember, the emotional bank account is our trust that I build by kindness and respect, etc., and holding to my word with you. Yeah, that puts money in the bank, so to speak. And then if I mess up, then you'll get through that. Yeah, like if I do something, if I wrong you, and I've got a big surplus in our account with each other, you'll get over it. Yeah, that's real. And we spoke about the skewed exchange rate. But then the 2 chidushim that I was looking to this time around was, number 1 is there's a compound interest effect. The more money I put into the account, the interest builds, meaning that when I've got a really robust, healthy bank account with you, I just naturally put in more money. I keep doing nicer things to you, because you're also being nicer to me, and I'm being nice, and it's just an upward spiral. So that's the interest. That's not written here. That was the chiddush. So there's the compound interest of the emotional bank account, and then this is what I realized the other day, is that also the person is available to be I suppose, like, to be rebuked by you in a sense. Like, if you've got a very healthy account with somebody, you could actually give them criticism, constructive criticism, and it will probably make a difference. That's an amazing idea. And for Karen, if you've got no emotional bank account with someone, there's zero chance that they will be able to receive anything from you that isn't what they want to hear. Okay? Listen silently, then speak clearly is like kind of where the rubber meets the road. This is like listen silently, then speak clearly is to like these 2, as do what matters is to like these 3. Okay? It's the practical application of how we do this. Okay, and there was one thing that I didn't mention last week, what I should have done. I really got annoyed that I forgot to mention it. Listen silently means an inner silence when someone's speaking. And now this is a very important thing as well that I articulated this week that I had never really articulated before, is there's waiting, the three modes of listening, remember, is waiting to reply. Yeah, you're not listening at all. Yeah. Then there's evaluative listening, which is also not really listening. What are you really listening to with evaluative listening?
Your perspective on their opinions.
Exactly, you're listening to your own thoughts. Exactly, you're listening to your the inner noise. Yeah, and people don't feel heard. People don't feel heard, and this is the amazing thing. Then there's silent listening, where you're silent inwardly. Okay, that's real listening. But listen to this, amazing. Is that evaluative listening? You might not actually say anything. You're listening, but you're liking, disliking, comparing, contrasting, evaluating, connecting, etc. Yeah? They won't feel heard. They won't feel heard. Even if you're quiet, even if you don't say anything. Silent listening, if somebody doesn't make sense and you're listening silently, you will almost not be able to not say, well, I didn't understand that. And they will feel extremely heard. So silent listening doesn't mean that you're not saying anything. Silent listening means that you're not thinking anything. Evaluative listening doesn't mean that you're not it's that you're thinking. Lav dafka, you're not. You could also say as well, but that would be. But this is the oimek. I'd say that the depth of the idea is that evaluative listening. A person can be listening, evaluating what you're saying, being quiet, and the person doesn't feel heard. Silent listening, you'll be listening silently, and if they say something that doesn't make sense, it's like you and them have become one, and you'll say, wait, I don't understand. You just said, just before that you said the opposite. And they won't feel offended, they'll go, oh, yeah, no, I didn't mean that, no. And they'll feel actually validated. Do you understand that? Yeah.
How does one do that when you don't even know what to say? Like, and I know you're saying it's not so much about, like, when you're having a conversation, or not a conversation, you're listening to someone and they're sharing something with you that you have very strong different opinions, and there's like commonality between the two people. Like it's a family relationship. And
family relationship.
Yeah. I find it hard, like, what am I trying, like, I find what to say very difficult.
Okay, I'm not sure what.
How
It sounds like you're always evaluating, especially family members, right?
totally.
Yes.
But how do you like unwind that? How do you become? How do you do that?
So I only know one. I only know one way. I only know one way, which is the way that I was mitzvah to do that. Hashem is that book that I put out.
Is what?
Is what?
That book that I put out. I think I read it at least 6 times.
Reclaiming sanity.
Yeah, I mean, I read the Goyish versions. I don't know of a shortcut, I'm sorry. All I know is that if you find the right information, and this is the reason why I did this, you find the right information and you read it again and 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 again. And then eventually you'll start catching yourself. You'll start really recognizing when you're thinking, and you'll be able to shut yourself up. And there's no, I don't know of any shortcut. Maybe there's some drugs that can do it, maybe there's some kind of hypnosis thing you can do, I don't know. But I do know that works. Again, it's simple but hard. People want complex and easy, but it's simple and hard, find the right, and I did it for everybody. That's exactly the reason why I did it, because it's just so important. But I know everybody wants to go to their therapist, they want to sit there and everyone will pay a lot of money for years and years and years, yeah? It's just, you could just pay 50 shekels and it will, spend 2 years and you'll be fixed. Really, I don't know another way, I'm sorry, but that it is becoming...
You said tefillah.
What?
To fill it, I think.
To daven for it also, to be like.
I don't know if everything, yeah, fine, but you have to, the Hishtadlus as well. That's the Hishtadlus. You can double that's for sure. Okay.
I'm really sorry, but I have.
Was that okay? Oh wait, we have a gift for everybody. This is a gift. It's very cute. This thing pops out, you split in, and you can look at this.
Oh, wow, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Everyone gets one of
This
these.
goes, you can put, what's
You can put it on
this?
the wall. I'll show you quickly. One second. I'll show you. And do you know if I open those? So here, this little thing. This pops out, ladies, and you just screw this in here,
Oh, wow, so nice.
and
Excellent.
it just comes
Wow,
out.
this is really
Oh, wow.
Look at that. It's very cute.
Real
This.
head and it's
That is great.
Yeah, it's very
You
cute.
did really an excellent job with this course. I mean, really made it, well, everything is very first
Put
class.
together. Screw.
Yeah. No, leave it.
Oh, you want to keep it? Fine, here.
We'll
Okay.
put it where I can look at it.
Okay, good. So you should really, the point of this is to be able to sit there
Yeah.
for a few minutes and do a chazal on the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure.
Really.
Okay, thank you for putting yourself
Yeah.
into it. Shkoyach.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Lovely meeting you.
So
so good.
everyone will get it.
Instant
Everyone gets this
review.
thing. So yeah, so this is the essence. This is the essence of Shalom Rocha. What's the time now? Oh wow. Okay.
That's when we
We'll
start.
finish here. So the really what we're doing is we are aligning our paradigms with principles. That is what we say is the alignment of reality. What would that be called? Reality would be principles. Yeah? The alignment of reality with personality, that's paradigms. And behavior, that comes from the paradigms. Okay? So that is what Shalom V'Rocha is. And the inner, the Shalom, that's what it's called, Shalom V'Rocha. That is a state of Shalom, of completion, where you become available to everybody else in the most healthy way, and that leads to bracha. All bracha pours through you and to everyone else. And we'll finish with our. So, like I said, this is my favorite. The words to this song is my favorite.
A thousand scattered duties pulling me apart, disturbing my mind, overwhelming my heart. The dishes, the mortgage, all the things I must do. In the state of shalom, they all dissolve into you. If you invested the effort in this journey so far, these 7 righteous principles shine as one star. Light courses through our veins and penetrates our bones. It will illuminate from within and then overflow. The pieces all merge and everything makes sense. A cacophony so loud, replaced by silence. Now you become the star, burning bright like the sun. Now you see clear, other than God there is none. Shalom and blessing, your soul finally free. Yourself fades away in divine unity. Not above, not apart, but deeply entwined. Reality, personality, behavior aligned. No longer endless, fragmented acts. No longer torn by contradicting facts. one that replaces many with resounding peace, a harmony so deep, all divisions cease, shalom and blessing. Your soul finally free, yourself fades away in divine unity. Not above, not apart, but deeply entwined. Reality, personality, behavior aligned. I am breath, I am flame, I am dust, I am sky. A soul with no borders, no need to ask why. I am woven in wonder, in mercy and grace. A spark of infinity, time cannot erase. I am the stillness, I am the song. I was here before, I've been here all along. Not above, not beyond, but fully awake. A vessel of blessing, a path he will take. No burden, no battle, no fear, no disguise. Love without edges and truth with no lies. No struggle, no weight, no need to atone. I'm here now, I am whole. I am whole, I am whole. I am whole, I am whole, I am whole. I am whole.